The Witcher 4 has been stirring up hype and excitement ever since CD Projekt Red confirmed that Project Polaris, the next installment in the Witcher series, had entered full-scale development, but the last few days, it feels like the hype has reached an all-time high. Developers from CDPR have been dropping cryptic hints on social media, teasing that we would see the backside of the coin soon, with some industry insiders fueling the hype train with rumors of a major announcement at the Game Awards. With speculation running wild, could we finally see the first trailer for The Witcher 4 this year, or is this just another round of clever marketing to keep us fans on the edge? With the combination of high expectations from fans to the studio's eagerness to prove they still have what it takes, the stakes have never been this high. Let's not forget, The Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt wasn't just a game, it was a phenomenon widely regarded as one of the greatest RPGs ever made. CDPR isn't just working on a new installment, they're tasked with filling some of the biggest shoes in gaming history. So Eurogamer recently interviewed the CEO of CD Projekt Red, Michael Nowakowski, and during that interview they revealed a ton of details regarding Project Polaris in regards to the development process, some of the lessons that CD Projekt Red learned after the issues with Cyberpunk 2077. They then went on to talk about the actual scope and scale of The Witcher 4, to which the CEO said, "The only thing that I will say is that changing the tech for us does not change the fact that we will always be ambitious, and the next game will not be smaller and it will not be worse. So it will be better, bigger, and greater than The Witcher 3, and it will be better than Cyberpunk because for us, it's unacceptable to launch that way. We don't want to go back. Even if there will be some sweaty moments and maybe even some bad stuff happening, still I think we will try everything we can to make it even more than what we achieved in the past year. So the technology should not be a blocker for us, basically." To which that he's mentioning the fact that they're not having to develop the Red Engine anymore as they are moved on to the Unreal Engine 5. So now we get into the part of the interview that got really interesting. They actually talked about the game's marketing for both Cyberpunk and the new Witcher 4. They said one of the specific lessons the studio took from Cyberpunk, which has particular relevance here to bring things back to the next announcement, was to be smarter in how we want to announce and kick off marketing campaigns. To be honest, when we were kicking off the marketing campaign officially with pre-orders, which was the Keanu stage moment, the plan was actually to launch roughly 1 year later. It just didn't really work. We didn't really plan for like a 2-year marketing campaign, and I still think that 1 year would be fine in terms of time for a promotional campaign of that game. For a new game, expect a slightly longer but not 2-year campaign. They said that the studio learned a lot of good practices from that experience, so announce the date when you're like really sure of it, and now I think we have much better tools to be sure of that date. Phantom Liberty only lasted about 6 months, but for a new game we would expect a slightly longer but not 2-year lasting campaign. Having said that, he said, "I want to stress, it doesn't mean we would not tease or drop some cool assets before a full reveal." The CEO continued, "If I asked you what do you want to know about The Witcher 4, the answer is not much. Probably yes, there's theories and so on, but there's nothing really specific. So we want to drop the crumbs here and there so that people in the media as well can, you know, pick up on it and try to figure out what it is we're trying to say this time." So that's something that we're starting to do a little bit earlier. That would involve aspects such as having some video assets or something to whet the appetite of fans, not even to create the hype so much as to simply get the conversation flowing. And they definitely have. Now the question that everyone wants to know is, what does this mean about a trailer happening soon? Well, I'd like to reference the Sebastian Kalimba post with the coin, where he said, "Stay tuned for what's on the other side of the coin." Now this and many other developers at CD Projekt Red that we're going to mention I've also been posting this same coin as well. But there's some interesting tidbits that I'd like to point out in regards to every developer who's posted this coin. For starters, we have Rafal, who said this, "Got this awesome coin today, though there's this one guy in the office that really wants me to toss it to him," to which he's pointing at Geralt. Now, Rafal is actually a senior gameplay designer at CDPR. And then we have a senior cinematic designer by the name of Michael, or Michael, not really sure the pronunciation, who said, "Got this coin." We have this post from an acting lead cinematic designer at CDPR by the name of Vithrin, who said, "As 2024 winds down, I couldn't be prouder of my cinematic design team at CDPR. Their creativity and dedication has been incredible, and we're entering production of the next Witcher game stronger and more ambitious than ever. And yes, we've got the coin to show for it." And then we have this post from Jan, or Jean, I'm not really sure the pronunciation, apologies, who said, "Still can't believe we're going into production on the new Witcher game." And this person happens to be an acting engineer manager for gameplay at CDPR as well. So from all of the developers who have posted this coin, it seems like there's a pretty interesting trend. We've not only got a gameplay designer, we have a cinematic designer, we have a lead cinematic designer, an acting engineer, and of course the game director. Also, there's the whole cinematic design team that was photographed as well. So could this be the breadcrumbs that we're talking about? Like, we have all of these key developers, ones that you would think would be in charge of a cinematic reveal trailer, all posting the same coin. Now, this could be a tinfoil hat theory. I might be grasping at straws, but when you have the CEO of CD Projekt Red saying that they're going to leave a breadcrumb trail leading up to the full reveal, how am I not supposed to have my tinfoil hat on and try to decipher what this means? Again, it could be nothing, but it could mean that an official reveal of The Witcher 4 is imminent, and it could be happening anytime soon. Now, the most obvious date to me, and I'm sure for a lot of you as well, is all signs are kind of pointing towards a possible reveal at the Game Awards. The Game Awards is literally the biggest event in gaming, and it just so happens that they announced the full production around the same time that the Game Awards is taking place, which is going to be December 12th. Now, another possibility for a reveal trailer would be on the 10th anniversary of The Witcher 3's release date, which The Witcher 3 released May 19th, 2015. It's 10 years old almost, and it's actually wild to me, like time has flown by so fast. So if we get the breadcrumbs that are starting right now with the coin teaser and a trailer happening during the Game Awards, it's just a basic cinematic reveal with more breadcrumbs to follow through 2025. A release date of 2026 is not an unrealistic expectation because it will give them enough time to do more breadcrumbs through 2025, and it gives them also the 8 to 12 month marketing push. But that's all dependent on how long the game has been in development already. We're not exactly sure when pre-production started on The Witcher 4. It could have been right after The Witcher 3 with a smaller team, with the pre-production really ramping up after Cyberpunk 2077's release date, and of course after Phantom Liberty released as well. One thing you also have to mention is the game is on Unreal Engine 5 and not on the Red Engine. So like the CEO said, they're essentially not going to have that burden of having the entire technical team working on the Red Engine to get it updated. Another question that we have to ask ourselves is how long is that full production phase going to last? If they started it at the end of this year, will they have enough time to get the game shipped by 2026 release window, or will it push into 2027? That's kind of the question we all want to know. If pre-production started right after The Witcher 3, that gives them almost 10 years of work on pre-production. But if it started sometime after Cyberpunk 2077, that gives them about 4 years of pre-production, which is fairly significant considering the game is only supposed to have around a 6 to 8 year development window. So the maximum time frame we're looking at is at least 2028 for the release date. But let's be honest, if they're already starting to drop breadcrumbs, 2026 is the release date that I'm expecting. Now, speaking of that big reveal for The Witcher 4, there's been some insiders that have been teasing that something very big is going to happen at the Game Awards. What is that going to be? We're not sure, but let's just go ahead and see what they have to say. According to Andy Robinson, they said, expecting a very big Game Awards next week, fire up the hype train. And then we have Jez Corden, who said, oh boy, Jeff Keighley cooked. To which he said, what I'm expecting without hard spoilers, not a ton from Xbox first party studios, pending Xbox's own developer direct in Q1. And he said lots of epic multi-plat reveals and other fun stuff. So while they didn't mention The Witcher 4 or Project Polaris in their post, they did mention that the Game Awards should be a pretty big event in terms of game reveals. So I'm really hoping that these hype up posts are for The Witcher 4, but again, this is likely just insiders hyping up the event for other game reveals and nothing really Witcher related, but there still could be a chance. So as you know from my last video, I mentioned that the eclipse in the top right of the coin could be teasing one of two things. The first being the curse of the Black Sun, and the second being the conjunction of the spheres. But as pointed out by a user on Reddit by the name of CM Escape, the coin itself matches artwork tied to the Gwent card game, and what's really interesting is the head of the art department for this Gwent expansion just so happens to be Sebastian Kalimba, who is the lead director of The Witcher 4. So if the eclipse in the top right of the coin is about the conjunction of the spheres, that could mean that a prequel is the most likelihood. Like, imagine this game takes place during the golden age of Witchers, where the protagonist is a character creation, and one of the options in the character creation is the ability to pick your school. So perhaps the reason that there's only 5 developers who posted the coin teaser, it could be that there's 5 different schools that you could choose from during the character creation. Now, there's also some theories about this being a second conjunction of spheres, and if that's the case, then I think a sequel to The Witcher 3 would be more likely with Ciri as the protagonist. Now, one of the reasons why I'm leaning towards a prequel being the most likelihood is it was confirmed that Geralt is not confirmed to be in The Witcher 4, according to Doug Cockle. He recently clarified and said that he was going off of a rumor, and it's not definitive that Geralt of Rivia will be in The Witcher 4. So that tells me all signs are kind of pointing to that prequel. And if it is a prequel, then I'm guessing the game will be a character creation game, which I'm personally down for. But let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section, guys. Do me a favor, hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel with your notifications turned on, and until next time, this has been Wes, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.